In a few short years, when you take your children to the Henry Dorley Zoo in Omaha, on a beautiful sunny day, you're going to notice a lot of changes. The newly added areas of the zoo will wow you with their state-of-the-art features. You'll now be able to pet stingrays at Stingray Beach or view giraffes on a whole new level up at their eye level in the new African grasslands. But when you come to the Hubbard orangutan forest, you're going to notice some unsettling changes. The area of the zoo that used to house many playful orangutans now is just going to have a couple of aging animals. You'll notice conservation signs all over the building, and you won't stop to read them, but you will see that a couple words stand out to you in particular: palm oil. You finally take the time to stop and read one sign on some enclosure glass, and you'll find out that the animal inside the enclosure is one of only about 100 orangutans left in the world. All are housed at zoos, as none are left in the wild because their native homes have been destroyed. In 2011, according to James Eng of NBC News, environmentalists say the illegal clearing of rainforests in Southeast Asia to make room for palm oil plantations has pushed the orangutan to the brink of extinction and threatens other native animals. Palm oil is found as a common ingredient in baked goods and cosmetics. Demand for palm oil has surged in the last few years, making it the most consumed vegetable oil in the world. It's so sought after because it works as a preservative, a binder, and it helps goods resist crumbling and spoiling. It comes from palm tree plantations found mostly in Southeast Asia, and according to Chelsea Dewey of the Grand Rapids Business Journal, palm oil is a $50 billion, with a B, $billion a year industry. Oil palms grow best in the climatic zones harboring moist tropical rainforests, which are the Earth's most biologically rich and terrestrial ecosystems. So, in order to satisfy this growing need, rainforest land is cleared, oftentimes by burning, and the clearing of these lands has driven out wildlife like the orangutan, the Sumatran tiger, and even indigenous tribes of man. According to Tunnicliffe and Weber of the Chemical Engineer Journal, once the indigenous people are forcibly removed from their homes, some go to work in the plantations for low pay, poor treatment, and very bad living conditions. People that are not employed in the plantations are left with nowhere to live, no food, as previously they lived off the land. They survived from the rainforest. We can all help. Palm oil doesn't have to be bad news. Be an educated consumer. Companies such as Kellogg's, Procter & Gamble, Baskin-Robbins, and Dunkin' Donuts have all taken commitments to know exactly where their palm oil is coming from. They can source their oil back to the farmers. According to Christine Riley Miller, Senior Director of Corporate Social Responsibility for Dunkin' Brands, sourcing even limited amounts of palm oil irresponsibly can contribute to deforestation, loss of natural habitats, and other environmental and human rights concerns. Farmers could use lands that have already been degraded rather than clearing new forest land. According to a journal written for PLOS One, in the face of increasing global scarcity of arable land, an often proposed solution to reduce rainforest conversion is to focus agricultural expansion and intensification on land that has already been degraded instead of opening up land still covered in natural vegetation. So the next time you and your family visit the zoo, you could have a very different experience than the one that I mentioned on the onset. Rather than being met with just a couple aging orangutans too old for reproduction and signs stating that they are some of the very last left in existence, we could take our children to visit a zoo with many orangutans, playful babies alongside their mothers and fathers, growing up at the zoo in conditions similar to what they would know in the wild. So in conclusion, you might be saying, okay, I'm on board, but what can I do? I'm just one person. Check your labels. If products that you normally use contain palm oil, look for new products. Try to find an alternative or maybe a different brand of a very similar product won't contain palm oil. Look for the RSPO logo on products that you buy that do contain palm oil so that you know that it has been sourced from firms committed to sustainability. You can contact representatives of the companies whose products you use and let them know that as a consumer, you want them to use sustainable palm oil. You want to know where it's coming from. Buy from companies that have made commitments to use only sustainable palm oil with sources that can be traced back to the farmer. Weber of TCE states that national commitments are an excellent way to encourage all the links in the palm oil supply chain to take responsibility for making sustainable palm oil the norm rather than the exception. And the RSPO will continue to work with the national governments to achieve these goals.